Michelle Jones with the City of Brownsville Public Health Department, Maternal and Child Health Division. And today we have a lovely segment with Efrain Garcia from Behavioral Health Solutions, talking about substance abuse, alcohol abuse, especially while we're pregnant, or the implications if we're breastfeeding. So Efrain, would you like to tell us a little bit about?
Yeah, thank you, Michelle, for having me. Basically, when we talk about alcohol and drugs, we have to closely pay attention to neonatal abstinence syndrome, which is NAS, and during pregnancy, and also to FAST, fetal alcohol syndrome disorders. So when we talk about NAS, the neonatal abstinence syndrome, that is a series of issues or problems that a baby goes through while in utero due to being exposed to substances. Those substances are called opioids, and they are generally pain relievers, benzodiazepines, sleeping pills, illegal drugs, or substances such as, for example, heroin. Also, when we go back to pain relievers, I can also mention fentanyl, codeine, those type of medications, and antidepressants. You know, those pills used to treat the depression, and we have a wide variety of those. So when a baby is exposed to those substances while in utero, the baby can develop a dependency. So when that baby is born, that baby does not have those substances anymore and starts to develop that syndrome, the NAS. The NAS has multiple symptoms, but just to mention a few, it can be, for example, irritability, issues with sleeping patterns, unstable fever, a lot of crying, and those are just a few, because we can go over and over with the symptoms. But that's, for example, that's with the NAS. Now, during pregnancy, when we talk about alcohol, we have to talk about the fetal alcohol syndrome disorders. That happens when a mother during pregnancy consumes alcohol. Then the baby, when it's born, starts to develop some learning disabilities, some facial kind of deformations that start to be noticeable, and also learning disabilities, like, for example, having behavioral issues. Also, I'm trying to not forget the most important ones, but they have to do mostly, and in their majority, with learning disabilities.
Okay. Now, because some people might say, oh, an occasional glass of wine, or let me take a sleeping pill while I'm pregnant. Is there any safe limits or recommendations, or is it just don't even take the chance?
You know, the fundamental and essential recommendation is that no amount of alcohol, like there is no amount of alcohol that is going to be safer. The safest option is not to drink. Okay. Yeah, that's mainly the message that I wanna get to the community.
So with some of the medications, because some of them are prescribed, is that just something that you would discuss with your doctor on a safe amount on that?
For sure, yeah. When we talk about medications, it's important that that the person is having a conversation about it with their doctor. The doctor is going to evaluate a lot of risks and benefits. So the doctor will do a more extensive and thorough assessment on the risks and benefits of that medication. Now, when we jump, for example, to breastfeeding, alcohol and breastfeeding, according to the CDC, if the mother is drinking, for example, a one standard drink in 24 hours, that is not known to be harmful to the baby. If the mother waits at least 2 to 3 hours before nursing and after consuming the drink. Anything after that can be harmful to the child.
Okay.
Yeah. When breastfeeding.
Now, does the same thing apply if they are experiencing, or if they are on prescription drugs, or even some of the more illicit drugs like street drugs, heroin?
Exactly. Well, yeah, of course, illicit drugs and without supervision of a doctor, you know, that is very something very delicate. So again, the advice is for the mothers to get in conversations with their doctors about what medications they can use for any treatment, or even for you know, just a headache. You know, it's important that they get in conversation with their doctors.
All right. And so we've talked about the neonatal abstinence and the alcohol fast, but is there anything maybe related, because we do see that marijuana, CBD oils and stuff like that are becoming more easily available. Do we see or have any data on that particular front?
At this point, and in reviewing the CDC information, the CDC's information, there is not enough information on that. But for example, marijuana has chemicals that can potentially harm the child. So again, there is not enough information right now, but the recommendation is not to do it.
All right, good. And then one of the things I wanted to mention is, let's say that I am someone who is struggling with a substance abuse issue or alcohol issue, and I find out I'm pregnant. What would my next steps be?
You mean, for example, as you barely start to know that you're pregnant and you have
Yeah. So is there like programs I need to go to, or do I need to go straight to my doctor, or?
You know, going straight to your doctor would be the safest option, and there are in the community multiple programs that you can benefit from, right? For example, in the program that I work with, the postpartum and intervention program, and that's a very complicated name, but another name for my program is Caring for Mommies. You know, we support the mothers in Cameron County that are dealing with domestic violence, substance use, financial distress, that they have difficult situations that they're dealing with or interacting with. So we support them to regain that focus on their children.
Oh, okay. And then one of the things that kind of comes up with a program like yours, are they able to start right at the beginning during their pregnancy, and then do they stay until they feel comfortable with where they're at, or is there like a set time limit, like you've only got 6 weeks with us?
No. We can have the cases open for as long as the client needs. You know, we do a service plan. We try to identify the needs of the client. Of course, we have that. We have a client-centered, client-focused approach, and we accompany the client in recognizing the obstacles that client is facing, and we assist and support the client in overcoming those obstacles, in achieving goals. Because we set goals in that service plan. So as long as we are able to meet and provide the client with that support that the client needs to achieve the goals, you know, that's when we feel that we are able to close the case.
And then one thing, just following up with that on what the client's needs are, oftentimes when we encounter someone who does have some of those substance abuse issues or alcohol abuse issues, it's not just the mother.
Right.
Sometimes it's the baby's father, or if they're living with their parents, it tends to be more expansive.
Right.
Do you have programs to kind of help create that network of support for the entire family?
Absolutely. They can be referred to our program, and if they don't, let's say, for example, that they're not eligible or that we don't provide that type of expertise because they need something, another type of intervention, we can refer out. But more than likely, yes. You know, we can either see how we can help them, and if not, we can refer out.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful. And then, just since you've provided us with all of this great information, I know that we're not touching on everything that your program provides. Do you want to just give us a little bit of background, like some of the additional services, so that way we really get to know your program and what all you offer?
Yeah, in our program, in specific in the PPI program, we offer services and support for clients that are dealing with domestic violence. We provide education. We use 2 curriculums around multiple topics, for mothers, how to handle stress, parenting. It's because it's really it's a very intense, being a parent. So we have 2 curriculums to provide those kind of tools that mothers need. Also about nutrition. I said already domestic violence, substance use, financial distress. We have a housing section in within our agency that we can refer those clients that need that type of assistance, and we can again assess and in the client's perspective, identify what are their priorities, and we can work with them on that.
So it kind of sounds like each client gets like a specialized treatment plan program for them.
Exactly. We tailor our approach to each client, because we understand that not all persons are the same, not all cases are the same. So we kind of tailor and modify our approach for each case. Yeah.
All right, and then one last question, and I think this is probably really important, especially since we are dealing with things that might not necessarily be 100% legal. What do we feel, because people will be reluctant to come get help, especially if they've got an addiction to like a heroin or while they're pregnant, worrying about CPS and things of that nature. Do you follow any guidelines to protect the identity or the circumstances of the individual so that some of those more touchier subjects can be addressed without fear of being taken?
Yeah, I think one thing to mention that is really, really important in our community, and I think in like everywhere else, is to eliminate or mitigate the stigma that is around substance use. Starting, with that in mind, with that point, then the clients can seek help, and it can be, talked about in a more relaxed way. Important, yes, but with more respect, right? And what was the second question?
Just individuals that are afraid to come forward because they might have to deal with maybe legal repercussions because it's something illegal.
Confidentiality and all that.
Well, yeah, and not only that, but some people are worried due to legal status and paperwork.
Right. No, we don't pay attention to the migrant status or anything like that. Our services are free and voluntary. That means that the client can decide to stop services, attending services at any time. And also about confidentiality, we are HIPAA compliant, so we don't. We have strong and very strict policies and guidelines around confidentiality.
Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you. So if I do have some of these questions or know a friend, how would we go about getting a hold of either you or someone with the Behavioral Health Solutions to get that added help?
Okay, for social media, we have a Facebook page, and my name again is Efrain Garcia, and my number is 956-368-5557, extension 305. That's my number.
I really appreciate you coming down here, Efrain, and sharing that important information, especially with our residents here in Brownsville. I also would like to thank the Breastfeeding for a Healthy Brownsville Community Coalition, City of Brownsville Public Health Department for making all of this happen. So thanks for viewing us and coming on down.